Welcome fellow Helldivers, I hope you're all doing well and still fighting the good fight for Super Earth. Today I'm going to show you my current loadout I run that gets me through most missions on difficulty 7 and higher with relative ease. And just a disclaimer, this isn't a one size fits all guide as everyone has their own playstyles and what may work for others may not work for you. But I will give you alternatives for each recommendation so you don't have to worry if a suggestion comes up that you're not fond of, as there's something for everyone, so sit back, relax and let's get into it. So we'll start with what armour you should be looking to wear. You'll want something that gives you enough movement speed to dodge and manoeuvre around obstacles and enemies, whilst also making you strong enough to absorb some of those heavy hits you will receive. So with both of them in mind, I would recommend a medium armour for the perfect balance between defence and mobility, and in particular I would recommend the DP40 Hero of the Federation armour. You unlock this armour on page 5 of the Helldivers Mobilised Standard Warbond. This armour has a well balanced stats and comes with armour passive Democracy Protects, which gives you a 50% chance not to die when taking lethal damage and prevents all damage from bleeding if your chest hemorrhages. This passive has saved me more times than I want to count and should not be taken for granted. As an alternative, the SC30 Trailblazer Sky Light armour is also a great set too, and if you have a chance to see it in the store, I would also recommend the B08 Light Gunner armour. This gives you the speed of the Trailblazer whilst giving you the armour of a medium armour set, so I'd definitely look out for this as well. For your primary weapon, the LAS-16 Sickle is an excellent weapon to use over other fully automatic weapons such as the AR-23 Liberator. The Sickle has unlimited ammo and virtually no recoil. You can find the Sickle on the first page of the Cutting Edge Premium Warbond, making it easily accessible if you have the super credits available. The Sickle does 55 damage, has a fire rate of 9, an extremely low recoil of 2 and a decent fire rate of 750. Other than the LAS-16 Sickle, the always dependable SG-225 Breaker Shotgun is also a great weapon to use against all enemies. It has a decent mag even after the latest patch and has barely any recoil, a fast reload and holds a decent amount of ammo. It's one of the old favourites and it still is really good now, so I'd recommend using that if you can't get on with the LAS-16 Sickle. Your secondary weapon is going to be the always dependable P19 Redeemer machine pistol. For when reloading isn't fast enough and you need to put some damage out at close range quickly, the P19 will always have you covered. And for your grenade, the grenade of choice for this build is the G16 Impact Grenade. This is great for clearing nests and taking out bile spewers and small clusters of enemies. You really don't need to look any further than the G16 Impact, it is really the all-rounder of grenades. Now on to the stratagems. The first stratagem is the always reliable Eagle Airstrike. This has always made its way into my builds, it's extremely versatile from wiping out hordes, bug holes and destroying buildings. And once you learn its radius and angles, you can call them in fairly close and not worry about team killing, as the area of effect is more contained in comparison to other strats like the cluster bomb. Next up is the expendable anti-tank support weapon, also known as the EAT-17. This support weapon has one of the lowest cooldowns with a very generous 70 seconds, meaning you can throw these all over the map for you and your fellow Helldivers to use in those risky situations whilst not having to worry about waiting for long cooldowns. The expendable anti-tank does a great job of taking down those larger enemies whilst not needing to take up space in your support slot. Just carry another support weapon for the majority of the mission, and when you need the expendable anti-tank to take down a target, just call it in and swap your supports. Then fire the anti-tank, kill the target, and then re-pick up your other support weapon and be on your merry way. Just rinse and repeat all through your mission. My third stratagem would be the main support weapon. I love using the flamethrower. It's great for crowd control and is effective for short range battles and for taking out larger targets such as chargers whilst also burning all other enemies surrounding them. It also ignores most enemy armour and has a decent reload speed. It can also close small areas by lighting the ground on fire, which is great when repositioning. Just be aware there is a small learning curve as team killing can occur when running the flamethrower, so learn how to use this before running it with your squad. The last spot goes to the autocannon sentry. It's great for taking out larger enemies fast, and since you run into a lot more of them on higher difficulties, you'll need all the help you can get. Its one flaw is that its turning speed is really slow, but you can counteract that by placing it a bit further away as its range is amazing. You can also upgrade it in the ship model section, and the third upgrade increases all turret movement speed, which is highly recommended when using the autocannon sentry. A small mention for the shield generator pack. This has become a staple of mine in some of my other builds. To start with, it negates all stun and it also saves you getting ragdolled by those charges. And once you've equipped it, it lasts all mission, meaning once it's cooled down you can call in other shields for your squad. If you're still needing some experience on the higher difficulties, the personal shield can be a great way to ease you into it as well, so keep that in mind. As for boosters, you're best to wait and see what your fellow Helldivers equip before deploying to see what is needed, but normally I always go for the stamina enhancement booster unlocked on page 7 of the Helldivers Mobilised Warbond. It increases your stamina capacity and recovery, allowing you to sprint for 30% longer and 23% stamina recovery, which is huge for all scenarios from getting across the map and completing objectives to when you're engaging enemies and need to reposition. If you found this guide informative, please consider liking and subscribing. The more subs I get, the more motivation it gives me to keep producing content for all you democracy dealers, and together we can win the war. Please consider checking out some of my other Helldivers videos. You may find some hidden gems in there. So with all that said and done, keep fighting the good fight, and as always, I'll see you on the battlefield. Blagger out.